Hey, Pittsburgh. We have had so much fun with Yins this year at Bike Pittsburgh's big free summer block parties. You know I'm talking about Open Streets PGH, and there's one more chance to explore the town free from car traffic. It's Saturday, July 27th, and it's their final shindig. They've got a brand new route through East Liberty, Homewood, Larimer, Point Breeze, even Wilkinsburg. So get ready to walk, bike, dance, even roll, plus catch performances and maybe chat up your favorite CityCast Pittsburgh podcasters. That's July 27th with Bike Pittsburgh. Route map and details at openstreetspgh.org. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, we are headed into baseball's big break, the All-Star break, and a pair of Pittsburgh players finally have a stake in the game. But what's in it for the rest of us Buccos fans? Today, we're talking about the team, the treats, how to bring your own snacks to the game, and the best and worst menus available at PNC Park. It's Thursday, July 11th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with CityCast producers Mallory Falk and Sophia Lowe. I am changing up our usual opening question. Every Thursday we do a food show. We usually ask about the best thing you've eaten this week, but I think we should do something different. If you were a Pirates player, a professional baseball player, what would your walk-up song be and why?
Okay, I am prepared for this. I have
Sophia's
3 walk-up songs. First, Super Bass, Nicki Minaj, just because it's fun. Second, I Love It, Icona Pop, and Charlie XCX, also because it's fun. And third, Brutal, Olivia Rodrigo, because I think I'd be really bad at baseball. So I'm kind of just getting ahead of the thing, and it's brutal out here.
You just want to acknowledge in advance that you're not going to be strong.
Yes, and I like how 2 of my songs have references to either crashing a car into a bridge or not being able to parallel park.
I mean, I think Super Bass is also, I know it's not a different spelling, but I think it's kind of on point too. I'm going to go with the same walk-up song that I had when I was 12 years old playing softball. Totally inappropriate at the time, but feels better now. Honky Tonk Woman, the Rolling Stones.
Well, as a 90s child, I think mine has to be Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, just because of the hit me, in reference to the ball. Hit me, baby, one more time. Let's pretend I'm talking about the ball because I have a long streak of home runs. That's what I'm going to go with.
I like how we went in 2 opposite directions. You were like, home run. And I was like, I'm not hitting anything.
Well, this is aspirational. I'm not saying I actually hit home runs in my day-to-day life.
I mean, my song has nothing to do with baseball or sports performance. It's a very different kind of performance. We are coming up here in Pittsburgh on the All-Star break and the All-Star game, which is where the MLB taps in some of the best players from all over the country. So that league break starts tomorrow, and the big game is on July 16th in Arlington, Texas.
And Pittsburgh is going to be represented this year.
Yes. So one person who's been making all the headlines, I know y'all know, is Paul Skeens, the new Pirates pitcher. He's actually only been in the MLB for a couple of months. So it's kind of a big deal that he's even been chosen since it's his first real season. And then Pirates outfielder Brian Reynolds is also going to be playing. This is his second time being picked for the All-Stars.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw Skeens in a lot of headlines, like you mentioned, Megan. I did not realize that anyone else from the Pirates was going. So that's kind of awesome. But we know that most Pittsburghers will not be going to the All-Star game.
Nope.
Yeah. But a lot of us will be making it to PNC Park sometime this season. And I think it's fun, even if you don't actually like sports, because there's giveaways, lots of entertainment between innings, and of course, the food.
Yes, so much entertainment.
I go for the pierogi race only, and my loyalty is with Jalapeno Hannah, not any of the actual Pirates.
Oh, I can name more pierogies than Pirates, too.
I mean, honestly, I think same. If you are one of those people who attends Buccos games for the food, for the things to do, you are in luck today because we just went to a game as a team to help you plan the perfect outing. And Jens, we tried so much food.
Yeah, we really went to town on some ballpark snacks, and this is all in the service of letting you know which food to try out. But before we get into that, let's talk about how to actually get to PNC Park, because you've got to do that before you eat. So one tip I have is that there are a bunch of bike racks outside the stadium if you want to bike there. This was my first time biking to a game, and I had no problem finding a spot to park my bike. This was an afternoon game. It wasn't super crowded, but I'm always pleased to see more than like a single solitary bike rack out front of anywhere. So seemed relatively bike friendly.
Yeah, when you first said you were biking, I was a little worried, but your bike made it through the day unscathed.
Yes.
I would be terrified to bike there. I took the bus, which is very easy because there's so many bus lines that just run downtown. And then you can walk across the bridge. Bonus points, because if you forgot water, you can always buy some because there are always people on the bridge selling bottles of water, because you can bring that into the park.
I put a call out on Instagram for parking hacks for all kinds of recommendations, really. And Jens really came through. Joshua P. commented saying that it is free to park at the casino. So that's a good hot tip. You can walk or take the T to the stadium from there. I know parking around PNC Park can just be absurdly expensive. So it can be one way to cut costs.
One caveat, though, casino parking is supposed to be for folks going to the casino only. So, do this one at your own risk.
My friends are all really big rule followers. Several of them do this, but they make it a point to go in and they play one of the slot machines first. So technically they have played when they park at the casino.
I fear that if I tried something like that, I just end up at a blackjack table and miss the actual game. If you hate parking like downtown or don't want to park right next to the stadium, another option is taking the Gateway Clipper in, because that runs as a shuttle during Pirates and Steelers games. It does cost $15 for a round trip, and then the company recommends parking in Station Square to catch the boat. So less of like a money-saving hack, and I think more of just something for the experience, because arriving at a Pirates game on a ship seems very on theme.
I didn't think about that, but I think you're right. Listener Jared W. also recommends taking your own vessel, but he votes for a paddleboard or kayak, taking one of those to the game. There's so many put-ins all over like our rivers, the Allegheny, the Mon. So you can stay in the water and just listen to the sounds of the game. Or he says you can bring your own lock and secure it under the Clemente Bridge and then just walk up the stairs and go in.
Never thought of doing that.
That is so genius. 2 outings in one. One time I did kayak on the river during a game and got to watch the fireworks from the river, and that was a pretty incredible experience.
The Zambelli fireworks, Mallory.
The Zambelli fireworks. Now I know the fireworks provider.
Personally, I am a big fan of parking around the Gus and Yaya's ice ball cart on Ridge Avenue in the north side and then walking down. We got a note from listener Lisa C., who suggests just buying a house on the north side, so it's always convenient to walk over.
Yeah, just simple solution.
I would personally love any scholarships that you're offering, Lisa.
Same here. Someone give me money for a house. And then if you're taking the T, just a reminder, it is free north of the Mon.
Yep. So let's get into the food. We're going to start with what's new at PNC Park this year. Sophia, you have mentioned the Renegade dog a whole lot on this show.
I sure have.
Yeah, and just a reminder, this is that foot-long hot dog with pot roast and mini pierogies and pickles on it, the whole works.
Yeah, it's definitely been the item I've seen the most buzz about this season. Sophia, I think you've had it twice now. What did you think?
So unfortunately, I do not have nice things to say about the Renegade dog. The first time I had it, I did wait a while to eat it, so I thought maybe that was the problem. So gave it a second chance when we all went. I dug in pretty quick, and I still think the hot dog is too salty, the pot roast is too dry, the pickles aren't juicy enough, and the pierogies are also kind of dry and bland. Like, why don't they have at least butter on them?
I think they had something on them, but
did they? Not enough.
They were looking a little sweaty.
Don't hold back, Sophia.
Sophia with the hot takes here. I mean, personally, even just like for me, the look of the Renegade dog left something to be desired. It was kind of wan looking, if you can describe a loaded hot dog as looking wan. I think they did pretty it up a little bit for the promotional shots at the start of the season.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't think it was that terrible. Maybe my standards were lower. The bun, I didn't think could really hold up to that amount of toppings, particularly the pot roast, like the juice from it. But the little mini pierogi were kind of adorable. Listener Neva G says that she had a great experience with the Renegade dog. She thought that the pickles added, quote, the perfect touch of acidity and brightness.
I'm glad this hot dog worked for someone else.
My guy Grayson S says, quote, always be hot dogging, which feels like the right energy for a hot Pittsburgh summer.
Well, you can really do that at PNC Park. The Renegade hot dog is not the only new one at the stadium this year. There's also the Pit Dog from Deli Dogs. So this is a hot dog wrapped in capicola and then topped with potato sticks and coleslaw. We tried this and I actually really liked this one. The spiciness from the capicola was really nice. I would get this again, definitely over the Renegade dog.
I've got to say that ham wrapped around a hot dog did not look very appetizing to me. Like, clearly I'm judging these items based on aesthetics. But Sophia, I'm glad you had a good experience with this one.
One note, though, definitely eat it quick because that extra meat situation added a lot of fat. Got kind of gross once it started to congeal.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of true for a lot of things at PNC Park, just because, especially in this hot weather, if it waits, it feels a little icky.
Yeah, I guess pro tip, order your food only when you're ready to eat it. Don't grab something and bring it to your seat that you're planning to eat like 5 innings later because that will not last.
Yeah, totally.
And then one last new hot dog. You can get a cheddar and chive bratwurst with peppers, onions, and mustard at the Chicken Pit. I'd try it. Of course, if you're feeling cheap, there's always Dollar Dog Night, where some of the hot dogs are $1. But Justin N. let us know that you can only buy up to 4 hot dogs, and the lines tend to be very long.
I love that someone's looking out for our wallets and also concerned about if we were trying to go for that 5th or 6th hot dog. They don't want us to be disappointed. Unfortunately, we didn't get to try everything new at the park, but we will link to an article in the show notes from Next Pittsburgh that lists out all of this year's new food items in case there's something else that catches your eye that we didn't get a chance to try.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't been to the Pirates games like in a way that we would like walk around. Like I've been to games and sat in the stands, but not like been there for vibes in a very long time. And I was just really impressed at the sheer volume of local spots represented inside the park. So Caliente, Primanti's, Station, Manny's, Low Key Taco, Perry's Ice Cream, Smallman Street Deli. I don't think that's an exhaustive list. That's just like the ones I happen to notice.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that too. And we did make it to Low Key Taco. They've got birria nachos topped with what they call hatch chili cheese. As a New Mexican by marriage, I'd take issue with that, but go on. Salsa beans, sour cream, all the usual stuff you'd find on top of nachos. And then there's also a version you can get without the meat if you're vegetarian. So a little something for everybody, maybe not our vegan friends though.
And this box of nachos was huge. We got the birria ones. It did not really taste like birria to me. No consomme, but it was definitely the best bang for your buck, at least from the food we tried.
In quantity, perhaps, but I am betting that half that box was literally just chips.
And chips make me happy.
If you told me that their version of birria was from the exact same Instant Pot as the Renegade pot roast, I would believe it.
Yep.
Same flavor, same texture, you know?
Yeah, and the joke's on us because we heard from a bunch of our readers and listeners who said that Low Key's Yenzarita drink is one of the best things at PNC Park, which we talked about getting, but unfortunately we didn't try it. So I think we did this whole day wrong.
Yeah, it's a malted margarita, which I've had other versions of since the pandemic, and I enjoyed them on occasion. I would definitely try that another day.
And another quick shout out to Nacho Rita, which was new last year, and they're gluten-free. Listener Aaron T says you can now get gluten-free hot dog buns with reliably safe protocols, so no cross-contamination.
Want to know one of my favorite sounds? Here it is. That's the sound I hear when I'm learning Spanish with Babbel. And if you want to learn a new language this year, I guarantee it'll be one of your favorite sounds too. I'm David Plotz. I'm the CEO of CityCast, and I've been doing Babbel for a few weeks, and it's been so much fun. This week, I've been learning lots of food vocabulary and how to order in a restaurant. This is one of the things I love about Babbel, is that it's about learning the language so that you can use it. As Babbel says, it's designed by real people for real conversation. So it's all based on real life situations. And these restaurant lessons are awesome. When I went to Mexico City last year with my girlfriend, I was mute. I was a mute. But next time, I'm going to be ordering the sopes and las salsas picantes. Babbel has over 16 million subscriptions sold, plus all of Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by their 20-day money-back guarantee. Here's a special limited-time deal for CityCast listeners. Right now, Get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for CityCast listeners at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about hot dogs, but I want to make sure we get some recommendations in for our vegetarian friends who might be heading to a Pirates game. So first up, we stopped by Manny's Barbecue,
which gets its name from a former catcher. He apparently hangs out there every once in a while, so maybe worth stopping by if you're a big fan and want to say hello.
Yeah. And, I know a barbecue place might not scream vegetarian friendly, but they have this mac and cheese that you can top with pulled pork, but you can also just enjoy it on its own.
I really liked the mac and cheese. It was like the right amount of creamy, sort of a white cheddar thing, the right amount of salt. I don't know that I would ever order this if it were over 80 degrees on purpose, but the dish was sort of perfect to me without the meat. I didn't need it.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it was over 80 degrees when we tried it. Again, the things we do for you, 90. Our listeners.
Yeah, it was very hot, but it was still delicious.
It was. And, yes, it was a little hot for it, but so many ballpark treats are deep fried. And so I don't know that you call mac and cheese like a lighter option, but no. I enjoyed that there was that creaminess. If you like your mac and cheese on the soupier side, you will enjoy this one.
Yeah, honestly, the texture kind of reminds me of like a better version of Panera's mac and cheese. I also really like this. I've had it topped with a pulled pork, though. I like that more. When I went with my partner, he also grabbed a pulled pork sandwich from there, and he recommended that. And CityCast contributor Kevin Gavin also liked this spot. He sent me a photo of a sandwich with a pretzel bun and pierogi. I think that was limited edition because I went digging for it, and I saw articles from 2013, but would definitely smash if it had been available.
We also heard from listener Joey, who says he's still missing Buckaroos.
R.I.P.
But that Manny's is a close second for him.
But back to the veggie-friendly options. One of our favorite munchies was the crab fries. So you can get the regular jumbo cups of fries all over the park, but the crab-seasoned variety are at Chickies and Pete's.
I looked this up, and as far as I can tell, there isn't actual crab in the crab seasoning, so this is a go for vegetarians, and I believe they're vegan as well.
Ooh, that's good. And yeah, I have a friend who's allergic to shellfish and told me that PNC Park is supposed to be completely shellfish free. So yeah, I can't imagine there's real crab in there.
Yeah, I think it's just like Old Bay and something, but it hits. I'm in.
It's perfect.
Yeah, and I know, Megan, you were kind of shouting out all the local offerings at the ballpark. Chickies and Pete's is not Pittsburgh based. But those fries are so good that I truly don't mind. I can forgive them. They get extra props for their design ingenuity. They have this little cup for their cheese sauce that hangs on the side of the fry cup. So brilliant.
Right?
Yeah. And that cheese sauce is also good on the Renegade dog, at least the hot dog part. It added a little extra moisture. Maybe a little weird with the pot roast.
Really weird with the pot roast.
A couple other vegetarian options we didn't try, but that I think are good to know about. Low Key, which we mentioned, also has street corn. And then Cannonball Burger has a couple of options. They have Big Ma's cheese sticks and then also a plant-based burger.
Okay, the Big Ma's cheese sticks, though, regular size, not as big as the name would apply.
Didn't know that.
Deceptive marketing.
We'll round this out with dessert, which was actually from the Cannonball Burger, fried dessert pierogi, another new item this year.
Maybe it was just because it was, once again, over around 90 degrees, but I didn't love this one. The sweet cheese inside isn't the best texture. It's a little bit grainy, but it was nicely fried.
Yeah, the flavor I thought was really good. The first bite was kind of tasty. It had a little chocolate sauce, a little powdered sugar. So maybe this is something to eat in the fall when it's a little cooler. You can always stick to the classic ice cream sundae or soft serve in a Pirates helmet. Shout out to friend of the pod, Rosalind Colgan, who says that soft serve in a helmet is one of her favorite ways to Pittsburgh summer.
That really is the true classic. Keep it nice and simple.
So final thoughts on the food. What was your favorite ballpark bite? Mallory, you first.
Okay, I'm sorry that I'm not going local here, but I've got to go with the crab fries. Very tasty, very easy to transport, which is important at a ballpark. Pro tip, like we've mentioned with some of these other items, make sure you eat that cheese sauce right away because it does start to harden after a while.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Mallory. Consistently, I'd absolutely say crab fries are my favorite, but the pit dog was a surprise for me, and I think deli dog usually has pretty good stuff too.
I think I'm going to go with a cocktail, although the mac and cheese was fantastic. I had a double margarita from a plastic baseball that tasted just like an MTV Spring Break commercial. I loved it.
That's what you want at a baseball game.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I'd really love to see next season, if anyone out there is listening who's in charge of the stadium food, is a few more cool items or these snacks that aren't piping hot. Like, it was so hot on the day we went, and I think summers here are going to just get increasingly hotter. There are going to be more and more days that top 90. So I don't know, in that kind of weather, I'm not really craving something that's really like heavy and hot and fried. In El Paso, where I used to live, they had chocolate covered frozen bananas at the stadium that you could top with sprinkles or nuts. Something like that might be great. But I would also love an option that's like watermelon with tahini, just something really refreshing.
Yeah, I guess something more interesting than Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, Dippin' Dots can go.
Oh, the watermelon sounds lovely. I want giant slushies.
Ooh, yes.
That would be good too. But let's not forget, you can also bring your own snacks to the games. So you need not suffer under their offerings alone.
Oh, yeah. You and Hey Pittsburgh reader Nikki M are on the same wavelength. Nikki recommended bringing in frozen fruit, especially frozen grapes, and also recommended, wetting your hat or a hand towel and throwing it in the freezer a few hours before game day just to help you stay cool.
Yeah. I'm all about the water for sure. I usually take in frozen bottles on hot days so the water stays cool or cold as it melts. You can also take in snacks like popcorn, sandwiches, peanuts. Just put it in a soft-sided cooler, a small one. The bag policy is pretty relaxed at PNC Park compared to a lot of places in Pittsburgh. So you can really ham it up if you're not feeling the stadium prices. Also a pro tip for my fellow parents. No one has ever checked my stroller, like not even a little. I hope they don't if they hear this.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't give them reason to. But this does bring us to other game hacks. A lot of you had great suggestions for making the most of your day at the park.
Yes, a friend of the pod, James S., suggested signing up at the designated driver booth. That's behind section 101. You will get a coupon for free soda.
Nikki suggests sitting in the upper deck, first base side. She wouldn't tell us exactly where. That's hilarious to me. But she says there's an awesome breeze up there and also a large fan like on the rooftop behind the stands to keep you cool.
Ooh, nice. Aaron T says they have $5 concessions at select stands on Sundays. Say that 5 times fast. So hot dogs, large sodas, water, pretzels. And she recently discovered this by accident.
Yeah, nice surprise, huh? She also says the best food is on the 200 level with all of the sweets, which is just unfair.
That makes a lot of sense. We passed by it, and the look of the traveling dessert cart, amazing. It looked like that trolley from Harry Potter, like completely covered in treats. I want.
Absolutely. Back to kiddos, just briefly. On Sundays, the Pirates close Federal Street for family days. So there's free balloon art, face paint, bounce houses. And also, I recently discovered this. If it is your first game, you can go to any information desk and get a certificate with your name on it. So any age person, you can go get the certificate. At first, I thought it was going to be like, not that exciting. But for little kids, it is basically a beacon for all of the ushers to be the sweetest human beings ever to your child. I cannot express how kind they were. They made sure we got pictures with literally every pierogi. They gave us a game ball. It was the best.
Okay, I am going to take you up on this hack when my child is old enough for her first game.
You should.
But another one from Aaron T, really coming through with the hacks here for us. Kids can join the Buckaroos Kids Club. They have levels. So for example, the gold level is $30 and you get 4 free tickets to games plus other goodies. She used it with her daughters, so $30 for both of them to attend 2 games each. And then the park also has a nursing room and a sensory room.
And going back to food for a bit, Joshua P. also recommends ordering all of your food via the Ballpark app. So the whole park has these kiosks, kind of like Sheets now, and I guess you can pre-order your food and skip the lines.
I think my favorite hack has always been to buy a standing room only ticket. The last time I was there, I think they were around $10 and you literally don't get a seat. It is actually standing room only. But on a really hot day, I thought it was kind of better because then you're in the shade, kind of out of the sun. So if there's a breeze, you'll get it and you still get a great view. Plus you are very close to the alcohol carts. This is all I bought for my first 10 years in Pittsburgh. Standing room only tickets are for the kids.
Standing room tickets are not for me. When it is hot, I want to sit down. Mallory, you mentioned that you go to games for the pierogi race. And Hey Pittsburgh reader Ashley C. wrote in with a reminder that it is after the 5th inning. So you'll want to be in your seat then or in the rotunda to make sure you get a good view. And then after the race, they always come into the stands. And Ashley even made us a little treasure map. So helpful.
For those who cannot see it, get thee to the bottom of section 101 or close by there to snag them as they come off the field. You can get pictures, high fives. Once again, I think having a small child helps.
We know these are the true celebrities, so these are the photo ops you want.
Yeah.
Next year, I will be fighting your child, Megan, to get a picture with the pierogies. It was just simply too hot to move the last couple of times.
Don't blame you at all.
My tip is to truly line up at least 90 minutes before if there's a giveaway you really want. So I did the
90
t-shirt.
minutes? Really?
Yeah, I got there 90 minutes before, when the gates open. But by the time I got there, once again, 90 minutes before, I was like at the end of the line, which was about halfway across the bridge.
Wow. Did you get your shirt though?
I did get my shirt. Victory.
Mallory, what about you? What's your biggest tip?
So until we just went to this game together as a team, I had not really taken the time to just wander around PNC Park during a game. And I discovered this little exhibit with a ton of Pirates memorabilia. It's over by the left field entrance on the second level near the big round ramps. It's got examples of lockers and memorabilia from Forbes Field, Three Rivers Stadium, RIP to both of them, and then also PNC Park. There's stuff you can purchase. So it's definitely a good place that I would take any baseball buffs, or if you're with someone who's just getting like a little tired of watching the game, maybe the Pirates aren't doing so well, and so you want to direct your attention elsewhere, it's a really fun stop.
I like that you're already preparing for a bad experience on the field.
I mean, I grew up here. The Pirates have not always been at their prime. The games are not always that exciting.
Or as Bella G says, bring binoculars for when something is happening and a good book for when nothing is happening.
Yeah, with you, Bella G. But, if you do end up at that exhibit, there is an additional pro because there is AC in there.
True. And in addition to being literally cool in there, I think it's also just nice that PNC Park has, joined Acrisure Stadium in creating a little historical space like this. Finally, if this episode has convinced you to get tickets to an upcoming Pirates game, make sure you get a good seat. Joshua P. recommended section 115 since it is both behind home plate and also close to that food. Or if you are just there for the pictures, Maggie G. says the best views are sections 114 through 116 and 314 through 316.
So let us know if you end up going to a game and if you use any of these hacks.
Yes, please. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. Thank you so much to everyone who shared your suggestions with us. We could not get to everyone, but we are so appreciative of all your suggestions, your recommendations, your hacks. Yins are truly the best. Reminder, you can find all of our shows, old and new, on our website. That's pittsburgh.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Talk to you soon.
It's 7-Eleven. Get your free slushies, everyone.
Ooh, hot tip.